Something just happened on a Scrabble board at the UK National Championship this past weekend that I've never seen before in my career. And judging by other players' reactions, it might be a first in competitive play. So, what was this incredible achievement? Well, it happened in round 4 of the 23-round event, where fast-rising Singaporean expert Ryan Wee faced off with veteran Irish player Orla Judge. Ryan opens the game with low point tiles that don't contain a bingo, so he plays Lun to grab a few points and try to draw one next turn. Orla answers with Merch hooking Loon. Ryan then draws this rack, and if you watched my previous video, you know the right play with these letters is Hyarnets through the H. But sadly, that doesn't fit on the board, and Ryan is forced to play its anagram, Inearths, for 94 points, by far his actual top move. Despite 5 vowels, Orla draws a bingo of her own in Areole. It opens a triple word score to Ryan, but so does the only other playable location of this word. So if she has to open something, why not take the extra 6 points? Ryan draws well after his bingo. In fact, he has another 7-letter word, heroine, ready to play alongside Loon. But he finds an even better spot to play this word, the stunning 104-point heroine with 7 overlaps. 7-tile overlaps are exceedingly rare, but they do happen every so often. For example, aided by both blanks, Nigerian superstar Timilehin Doko played Angered with 7 overlaps in the MGI Grand Slam Finals last year. Bingos are hard enough to play with just 1 or 2 overlaps, let alone 7. And sometimes it's easy to forget to look in such an improbable spot. The way I did myself at the World Championship in this situation, playing over team instead of the superior vetoers with 6 overlaps. So kudos to Ryan for spotting the best place to play heroine here. But keep watching, because it gets even crazier from here. Orla answers with Gutted for 29, forming several overlaps of her own. And keeping with the theme, Ryan reparallels her move with Few. Next, Orla plays Gulp, blocking off the upper row, and Ryan draws ADD to his EEMN leave. He's already up by about 100, and he can tack another 87 onto that lead with his 7-letter bingo of Dead Men. But somehow, he has the presence of mind to look a bit deeper and discovers that the anagram of Dead Men, amended, fits perfectly with 7 more overlaps, forming 6 3-letter words and 1 4-letter word to score 112 points. I have never in my life seen 3 7-letter bingos stacked on top of each other in a serious tournament game before. It's an absolutely bizarre sight to see on a Scrabble board, and I think there's a good chance a lot of players wouldn't even have considered looking in that spot. Ryan deserves serious props for having the creativity and focus to see both heroine and the even more stunning amended here. Several turns later, Orla makes a great find of her own, finding her only playable bingo here with the archaic Ostrich. But Ryan has drawn the second blank and answers with Central for another 90 points. When all's said and done, it's Ryan's win, 616 to 380. After seeing this incredible game, I was curious. How many bingos in theory could be stacked one on top of the other to start a game? The answer, in the North American Dictionary, there's one sequence with one minor variation that allows you to stack 5 bingos, one after the other. Here's how it works. One player needs to start with Patamar, a type of Indian sailing vessel. Next up comes the wine Amarone, forming 7 2-letter underlaps, followed by the surgical instrument Curette for 96 points. The 4th word in the sequence is Estated, scoring 109, and finally, Reseeds for 123 finishes the sequence. D-Seeds is also playable in the same spot, swapping the first R for a second D. Given that most players have never even seen or heard of 3 bingos stacked atop each other in a game, you might assume the odds of 5 being stacked are probably pretty low. And according to my calculations, the odds of this exact sequence being played on the first 5 turns of a Scrabble game is roughly 1 in every 57 octillion games. So if you want to see it for yourself, you better start playing right now. Ryan and Orla were using the Collins Dictionary, used outside of North America, which has more words in it and therefore more possibilities for these types of overlaps. Heroine required the Collins exclusive words ooh and me, for example, and amended wouldn't have fit either without the Collins only oon. Thanks to these extra words, there are actually just over 800 stacks of 5 bingos available in Collins compared to just the Patamar sequence in North America. All of these combinations look hilarious when you actually see them on the board. One underappreciated bit of luck from Ryan's play was Orla's inability to overlap Heroine herself. Overlaps, or parallel plays, are really lucrative in Scrabble, so both players have strong incentive to make shorter plays in those spots that score well and block any future overlaps in the process. That being said, I love that every time you sit down to play Scrabble, something truly special or never before seen can happen. This game between Orla and eventual 7th place finisher Ryan was a great reminder of that basic Scrabble truth. If anyone ever gets down a stack of 4 or 5 bingos in a game, I'll be sure to cover it on this channel. So if you haven't already, consider subscribing so you don't miss it. It helps me out a lot as I keep striving to bring this amazing game to a wider audience. I really appreciate it, and as always, thanks for watching.